Hi, this is Gwen Foster. This is another video on how emotions affect the body. And there is a great book. It's an expensive book, but worth the money. And it is Michael Lincoln's Messages from the Body, the Psychological Meaning. If you have ever looked at, there's really a lot of books about, what causes this and what causes that. And one of the first ones I knew about was Louise Hay. And Louise Hay has a really basic book called Heal Your Body. And when I read that, it was eye-opening, because she'd talk about shingles or talk about acid reflux or talk about conditions that I had had to deal with in my past. And I thought, wow, that's really super interesting. And then I got into German new medicine and was like, wow, that's even way more comprehensive. And then I found Michael Lincoln's work, and I ended up buying all of his books. There's one on addictions, there's one on this one, The Messages from the Body, there's one on allergies. And he has, to the nth degree, to so specific and extensive, you cannot even, you can't even imagine. This book is, I think it's 670 pages, and it is full of health conditions and what the underlying cause is. Now, Michael's angle is that everything is related to your relationship with your mother. How you were nurtured, how you weren't nurtured, how you feel about yourself in relationship to your mother, how your communication was with your mother, if your mother abandoned you, if your mother, did something specific to you, and how you just generally feel about yourself, if you were breastfed or not, if you were left with babysitters. Really, it goes into so much detail, it's unbelievable. But just like with German new medicine, I have found very little, in German new medicine, I found nothing that I can't say is accurate. With Messages from the Body, it seems to be a little bit more, I'm going to say, harsh. And sometimes people get it right away and they're like, oh my gosh, that is exactly true. I'll give you an example. I had a client come in and we were just talking about Michael Lincoln's work. He's a practitioner in Houston. And somehow we got on the subject of this and we were talking about addictions. And he said that his only addiction was lottery tickets. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, you wouldn't think lottery tickets is, well, I guess it is an addiction. But anyway, he said that if he went to bed and forgot to buy a lottery ticket, he would actually get out of bed, drive to the convenience store and get a lottery ticket. And I was like, okay, yeah, that would be an addiction, right? So we looked up lottery tickets, which I was amazed was even in the book. And it said that this has to do with total and complete abandonment by your mother. And I was like, I even hesitated saying that to him because I didn't really know his personal relationship with his mother. And when I told him that, he was like, oh my God, that is true. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, his mother left him at the hospital. Like, when he was born, he was literally left at the hospital because she didn't want to have a baby. This actually happened to someone else I know, and it was the exact same story. So 2 people I know, same story. Mother's left him at the hospital. He was raised by his grandmother. And the interesting side note to the story was that the grandmother raised him, and I think until he was 7 or 8. He never really knew his mother. She'd kind of pop in or out. And the only time he really got to spend any time with her was after she had won some money in a lottery, like $10,000. And she was around for like a month or 2 until the money ran out, and then she was gone again. And he was always raised by the grandma. And I was like, oh my goodness. That is like so specific. And I've had people also addicted to cereal. They're addicted to a bowl of cereal at night for a snack or, after dinner, even if they're trying to quit what's in cereal or whatever. And cereal represents wanting a bedtime story that you never got, or wanting a hug from your mom that you never got, because maybe she worked nights, or maybe she just wasn't a motherly, nurturing kind of mom. And so not everyone that we know had bedtime stories and a hug at night and tucked into bed. That's kind of in the movies, but that's not really a reality talking to many people. So Messages from the Body can be so enlightening when it comes to the psychological meaning and underlying cause. And sometimes just knowing what that's about can totally free someone up into going, oh, okay, I get it. Sometimes people are like, I don't know if I buy that. But a lot of times after they think about it, they come back and they say, oh yeah, that's absolutely true. So if you want to have a great book or reference, or I use it with my clients as well, I would show this again, Messages from the Body, and it's their psychological meaning. There's other great books on the subject, but I would say that this is like the one book I would buy if you're trying to get to the underlying cause of what's going on with your health conditions, especially if it's something you can't seem to get to the bottom of or can't find a resolution for. Okay, thanks a lot. I hope you like the videos. Like and subscribe.